Today's our topic is about second week of development. Second week of development of human embryo starts from 8th day and will move up to 14th day. In first week we talked about the blastocyst formation, and we said that blastocyst will differentiate into trophoblast and embryoblast. Keep in mind that trophoblast and embryoblast, these will undergo changes in second week. So let's start. First we will talk about trophoblast. Trophoblast will differentiate into two layers like this, that if I draw, this is cytotrophoblast and this will be syncytiotrophoblast. Syncytiotrophoblast has finger-like projections, and cytotrophoblast is a single layer of cell. These cells are mononucleated. The cells of cytotrophoblast are mononucleated and they are well differentiated, while the syncytiotrophoblast is multinucleated and this is a boundaryless mass. That means that cell membranes of all the cells of syncytiotrophoblast are fused together and they have formed this whole mass that has finger-like projections. And here is endometrial epithelium. Now let's talk about the changes that will occur in syncytiotrophoblast. There is formation of lacuna. Many lacunae are formed in syncytiotrophoblast. What are lacunae? Lacunae are small spaces. All these are lacunae and they are formed in syncytiotrophoblast. Now these lacunae will fuse with one another and they will form lacunar network like this. They are combined together, fused together, and they have formed lacunar network. This is a lacunar network. These are lacunar network in the syncytiotrophoblast. The next thing going to happen is uteroplacental circulation. As I have told you that this is endometrium, so there are spiral arteries inside this endometrium. These spiral arteries will be eroded at their ends by the enzymes that are released by syncytiotrophoblast, so that the blood will move from spiral arteries into these lacunar network. This whole lacunar network will be filled by maternal blood, and this maternal blood is oxygenated. It contains oxygen and nutritive substances, so that this blood is used for nutrition of the embryo, and this type of circulation is known as uteroplacental circulation. This circulation will provide nutrition to the embryo unless there is the formation of placenta. This circulation is uteroplacental circulation. Keep this circulation in mind, this is important. Now we will talk about trabeculae. The term trabeculae is nothing but the syncytiotrophoblast present between two adjacent lacunae will be called trabeculae. This region of the syncytiotrophoblast is trabeculae. Now let's talk about primary chorionic villi. What are primary chorionic villi? That this cytotrophoblast will project into trabeculae like this. Here other villi is formed, and these projections of the cytotrophoblast are named as primary chorionic villi. and then these primary chorionic villi will project forward and they will unite together like this, and they will form a whole shell around the embryoblast. Like this, there will be a complete shell, and this shell is known as outer syncytiotrophoblastic shell. Outer syncytiotrophoblastic shell is formed when primary chorionic villi combine together. Adjacent primary chorionic villi will combine together by further projection. If there is one other villi, villus, and there is their projection. Similarly, the whole shell is formed. This is all about the changes that occur in trophoblast. One thing important that occurs in second week is decidual reaction. Decidual reaction means that the maternal connective tissue cells that are present adjacent to, that surround the syncytiotrophoblast, these cells will intake more and more glycogen and lipid. They will intake more and more glycogen and lipid. And then this syncytiotrophoblast will intake these cells. It will engulf these cells and use these cells as a source of nutrition. This whole process is called decidual reaction. This decidual reaction takes place in second week. This was all about the changes that are occurring in the trophoblast. Now we talk about the changes that will occur in embryoblast. First, we knew in first week in blastocyst there was centrally located mass of cells that was named as embryoblast, like this. But now in second week, this mass will separate from the trophoblast and will move downward, like it will come over here and form a double layer of cells, the lower layer, and will form a double layer bilaminar embryonic disc. Bilaminar embryonic disc consists of epiblast and hypoblast. What I am drawing is hypoblast. Hypoblast consists of cuboidal cells. And this hypoblast is also known as primitive ectoderm. And the upper one are columnar and they are called epiblast. This upper layer is called epiblast. It is columnar and the other name is primary endoderm. And this whole embryoblast is now changed into bilaminar embryonic disc. Now epiblast will form a layer of cells that is known as embryon, and the cavity formed by this layer and the epiblast, this cavity is known as amniotic cavity. This layer of cell is amnion and this cavity is amniotic cavity. Similarly, this hypoblast will also form a layer of cells like this. There will be a layer of cells and a cavity is formed beneath the hypoblast. This cavity is called primary umbilical vesicle and the other name of this cavity is primary yolk sac. We don't use yolk sac for the human embryo because this yolk sac doesn't contain yolk. So we prefer to say primary umbilical vesicle. And this membrane, as in upper region, this membrane was called amnion. In this region, this membrane is called Hughes membrane. The next point is about extra embryonic mesoderm. This region between the trophoblast, as we know that this cell is trophoblast consisting of cytotrophoblast and syncytiotrophoblast, and this is all embryoblast that has now changed into embryoblastic disc. So the region between these two parts will be filled by a mesoderm. And this mesoderm is called extra embryonic mesoderm as it is outside of the embryoblast. This mesoderm is formed by the proliferation of cells from this syncytial trophoblast. This mesoderm is extra embryonic mesoderm. Now, this mesoderm will form spaces inside it. Many spaces are formed into it. These spaces then combine together like this. They will unite together and they will form a large cavity. This large cavity is called extra embryonic coelom. This is extra embryonic coelom. This was extra embryonic mesoderm, and now the cavity that is formed in extra embryonic mesoderm is called extra embryonic coelom. Now here the mesoderm is divided into two parts. The mesoderm is divided into two parts. You can say one is somatic mesoderm and the other is splanchnic mesoderm. You can say the one is you keep in mind that the mesoderm will be divided into two layers. One is somatic mesoderm and the other is splanchnic mesoderm. So what is the somatic mesoderm? The mesoderm that lines the cytotrophoblast, this mesoderm that is lining the cytotrophoblast and that covers the amnion, like it will be over here. This mesoderm is called extra embryonic somatic mesoderm, while the mesoderm that lines the umbilical vesicle, it is called splanchnic mesoderm. This white region is of splanchnic mesoderm that is lining this cavity, that is the umbilical vesicle, and the other mesoderm that will line this cavity, amniotic cavity, and it will also, this mesoderm will also line cytotrophoblast. It is called somatic mesoderm. Now a change occurs in the primary umbilical vesicle. What is that? It will decrease in its size like this. It was greater in size earlier, but now it will decrease in size. How it will decrease? It will detach one of its part, smaller part like this. It will detach its one part and will now be converted into a small cavity, and this new small cavity is called secondary umbilical vesicle. This new small cavity is secondary umbilical vesicle, and this is the remaining part of the primary umbilical vesicle, and this whole region will also be covered by cavity, coelom, that is extra embryonic coelom, this whole region. And this this remaining part will be degenerated very soon. So this is what happens in the embryoblast. What changes take place in the embryoblast are all these. One more thing that we have to discuss over here is chorion and chorionic cavity. Keep in mind that chorion consists of somatic mesoderm, this whole somatic mesoderm, plus cytotrophoblast plus syncytiotrophoblast. These three layers are collectively called chorion. This is chorion that consists of somatic mesoderm, cytotrophoblast and syncytiotrophoblast. And this whole chorion will form chorionic sac. The whole chorion will form chorionic sac, and the cavity that is present between this sac, like this is the cavity in amniotic, this is called chorionic cavity. Now we will talk about precaudal plate. Precaudal plate, we define it like this, that in a localized region of the hypoblast, if I draw it over here. Localized region of the hypoblast converted into columnar cells is called precorder plate, and this precorder plate in future will form head region, and it is the site of the mouth of developing human. The most important thing in second week of development is rule of two. Rule of two means that the changes occurring in the second week result in formation of two things simultaneously. Like when we talked about trophoblast formed two layers of cells, cytotrophoblast and syncytiotrophoblast, and embryoblast formed two layers of cells, epiblast and hypoblast. Similarly, there were two cavities formed, amniotic cavity, and this one was primary umbilical cavity. First it was primary umbilical cavity that I have told you earlier. In the same way mesoderm is differentiated into two types, as we discussed earlier, that one was the somatic mesoderm and the other was the subplanknic mesoderm. So rule of two is applied. Two layers are formed in. So in this way we say that in the second way rule of two is followed. This is all about the changes that occur in the second week of development.